holiday season is just around the corner, and the holidays can bring a lot of joy and togetherness. But if you've experienced infant loss, it can also bring a lot of pain and lots of challenges. In this video, I'm going to share 7 important things to know about the holidays after infant loss, including how to honour your grief, how to care for yourself during this season, and how to find peace amidst the difficulty. Hi, my name is Rosie. I am the founder of Healing After Infant Loss. I've experienced 4 infant losses over the years, so I understand firsthand how hard the holiday season can be. So let's jump in with number 1. The first thing is to make sure you have space to grieve. Now this can be physically but also metaphorically. Grief does not take a holiday. Grief doesn't know it's the holidays. It's not going to take some time off and disappear for a couple of weeks so you can relax and enjoy the holiday season. Grief is always going to be there. And let me tell you, it's okay to feel sad, even though it feels like the whole world is cheerful and happy and having the best time ever. It's okay if you're sad and if you're grieving. The holidays can be a difficult time, especially after infant loss, because there's a lot of traditions and a lot of child-focused activities that happen during the holiday season. There's family traditions, and there's also milestones and certain situations that might be difficult if you have experienced infant loss. My suggestion is that you set aside some time for you to grieve. So you might want to light a candle, you might want to journal, do some yoga, maybe meditate, and just have some time on your own to think about your loss. You could also think about creating your very own ritual or tradition, something you do every single year to honour your losses. Allowing space and time for grieving doesn't mean it has to take over your whole holiday season. You don't have to be sad the whole entire time. It's just about giving your feelings the time and the space when they come up. So maybe you'll get through the holiday season unscathed and you'll feel absolutely fine the whole time, but just know that if you do feel sadness, if you do feel a sense of emptiness or loss or grief, it's okay to feel those feelings and to have just a time set aside or a space where you can go and grieve and express your feelings fully. Number 2 is to have a support system in place. The holidays can be a really tough time, so try and find somebody you can talk to, whether that's your partner, maybe it's your parents or your friends or other family members. It might also be people online that have been through a similar experience. Finding somebody that you can open up with and you can be honest and your full self and explain your grief, and maybe they're just there for you. I think it's really important to have some sort of support system, and if you ever need anybody, you can message me on Instagram, send me an email. I'm always here for you. I've been through infant loss and I understand that the holidays are a hard time, so if you feel like you don't have anybody else to reach out to, please feel free to send me a message. The next thing I suggest in terms of having a support system is maybe messaging people ahead of time. So maybe it's a friend or a family member and just message them saying, hey, I think I'm going to find the holidays this year really tough. So please, could you be there for me if I ever just call you? I'll only call you in an emergency. If I need to chat, please just be there, or just know that I might be hurting this holiday season. It could also be a nice idea to have somebody to come to events with you if you have any Christmas dinners or Christmas parties or anything like that. It could be a nice idea to bring somebody with you so that you don't feel like you're facing things alone, and if grief does come up during this event or party, you know that you've got somebody there with you that you can talk to and that can support you. If you feel like you don't have a strong support system that's in person, somebody you can go and visit face to face, you could always do FaceTime with family and friends, but also have a look online at online communities such as mine, but there's lots of other people online talking about infant loss. The other thing could be to find online therapy. I know there's BetterHelp and there's a couple of other companies that do something similar, where you can find a therapist within a couple of days and talk to somebody about your feelings. This is not sponsored, this is not an ad. It's just a recommendation to find somebody that you can talk to, whether that is a close family member or a friend, or maybe it's an online therapist or someone you can speak to virtually online that might be there to help you through this tough time. Number 3 is self-care practices. Now, self-care is so important, especially as we go through difficult moments in life. So things like yoga, meditation, journaling, it might be a sound bath, it might be an actual bath, it might be going to a spa. There's lots of different ways where you can practice self-care and have that time and space for yourself to reconnect to yourself and to calm your nervous system. I know that the holidays can be stressful, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of pressure, and just having space where you can meditate for, even if it's 5 minutes, even if it's an hour, whatever it is that you feel like you can do, I think it's really important to find those practices that work for you and to do them. For me personally, it's listening to sound baths. I'll leave a couple of links down below of some of my favourite ones, but they're about an hour long and I can just sit and listen to that with my noise cancelling headphones. I'll also link them, they're really good. And just block out the rest of the world, and I get so in tune with the music that I feel so relaxed afterwards, and it's a really nice way for me to look after myself. So find something that works for you, whether it's movement like yoga or whether it's something a bit more still like meditation, sound baths, that kind of thing. You can try and find something that works for you, and then you know that you've got that thing that you can rely on. There's also some practical self-care tips as well, so things like eating well, getting enough sleep, and also taking breaks if things feel a bit overwhelming. So make sure that you are nourishing your body with really good foods. I know it's such a good time to eat so much chocolate, but that ultimately might not make you feel the best. So eat really nourishing foods, make sure you get plenty of sleep, and take breaks if you need to. So it can be a really busy period. Try and find breaks throughout the day, whether it's in the morning before you go to work or go and see family, whatever it is. You could practice something like VU breathing. I did a video on this recently. I will leave that link below as well. But try and find something where you can have that time for yourself and you can take a break and just really look after yourself during the holiday season. I think it's really important to find something that works for you. So obviously I've mentioned yoga, meditation, sound baths, an actual bath. There's also things like massages, walking in nature, maybe a dog walk, spending time with family and friends if that lifts you up. It could be listening to music, like I said as well. I enjoy the sound baths, but it might be something a bit more creative, like crocheting, knitting, painting, drawing, ceramics. Maybe an art form might be something that works for you. So you can explore lots of different avenues until you find something that works and something you can come back to time and time again. Number 4 is to try and have flexible holiday plans. Sticking to rigid traditions might feel a little bit overwhelming during the holiday season, so try to make your plans as flexible as possible. Let people know that you will tell them last minute if you're going to attend that event or that family gathering. Make alterations if you want to, but make sure that things are flexible and you can change plans as and when you want to. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no to events. It's okay to arrive late. It's okay to leave early. It's okay to say no altogether to events and things that you're expected to go to. It's okay to say no. So if you're invited to a big family party and there's going to be lots of kids there and lots of, relatives with babies, and it's all, if somebody's pregnant, that's going to be a main part of the conversation. It's okay to say, actually, I'm going to skip this one. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to do anything extra. Just say, actually, I'm not going to attend today. The other thing is that you can arrive late. So if the party starts at 7, you can by all means get there at 9, leave at 10. You could just stay an hour and then go back home again. You don't have to be there for the whole thing. You can just pop your face in and say hi to everybody and then leave again. So it's kind of up to you as and when you go to parties, if you go to them, if not, when you arrive, when you leave. It doesn't matter if it seems rude. It doesn't matter if people are offended or upset. You really have to put yourself first and look after your own mental health. And just remember, it's okay to create your own small traditions. You can find things that feel more aligned with where you're at mentally and emotionally, something that's different to maybe what you've done previously in the past. It's okay to do that. It's okay to start your own traditions and to carry them on year after year. So things like lighting a candle, things like reading a certain book, watching a certain film, whatever it might be, it's okay to do your own thing and to start new traditions and to eliminate the ones that don't work for you anymore. Number 5 is memory keepsakes. So it might be a nice idea to create some keepsakes that you can sort of enjoy and reflect upon during the holiday season. So a couple of ideas are you might want to make or buy or source some sort of holiday decoration that you can put on your Christmas tree or however you like to celebrate the holidays. Find something that represents your baby and the loss, and maybe just a memorial thing, maybe with a photograph or the date or the name or whatever it might be. You can find lots of things on Etsy. I'll leave a couple of links down below so you can find some, but there's lots of ornaments and decoration things that you can buy. The next one might be to write a letter to your baby. I've also done a video talking about this as well, so I'll leave that video linked down below so you can go ahead and find it. But writing a letter at this time of year might be really therapeutic. It might be a really nice way to get your thoughts and feelings out of your head and your body and down onto paper. And you can sort of talk about the things that you'd hoped for, the things that you'd wished for. You could talk about your healing journey. Like I say, there is a whole video talking about writing a letter, so you can go ahead and find that one. And then the last idea is to light a candle or set up some sort of memorial space. If you have scanned photographs, if you have any baby clothes or anything that you bought for the baby, you could sort of set that up and maybe just light the candle every morning, say a little prayer or a little affirmation, or just say hello or I miss you, whatever it might be. I know that might feel scary and hard and upsetting for some people, but that might also be quite reassuring and therapeutic for others. And it's totally okay if you want to keep these rituals and these things private and just for yourself, but also if you do want to share them with loved ones such as your parents, your partner, your friends, your family, it's okay to do that too. If you want to write a letter together, if you want to go shopping for an ornament together, if you want to light a candle together, maybe read a poem together as a family as a way to honour the baby, that's completely up to you whether you keep it more personal or if you do share it with other people. And remember, these keepsakes are not just a way to remember the baby, it's also a way to celebrate the love that you have for your baby. Number 6, permission to say no. I've touched upon this earlier in the video, but it's absolutely okay to say no to events, to parties, to gatherings, to conversations, to traditions, to anything that people suggest. It is absolutely okay to say no. Do not feel pressured to do anything you don't want to do. Look after your own mental health. That is the most important thing, especially during the holidays. It can be really, really tough and difficult. So the more that you can look after yourself and honour yourself, the better you might feel in the long run. Something you might want to say if people do invite you to things and you don't feel quite up to it is something along the lines of, "Thank you so much for inviting me. I don't feel up to it this year. I hope you understand, but I hope you have a lovely time." And I think this is something that oftentimes people feel like when they maybe invite somebody to something one year and they say no, they feel like maybe they can't invite them the next year. So if you have a friend who's been through infant loss and last year you invited them to a Christmas party and they said no, still invite them this year because their thoughts and their feelings and their grieving might have changed and maybe this year they feel up to it. So please always invite your friends. If they say no, don't take it personally, but it is nice to always be invited and not feel like you're being left out because you're the one that's lost the baby and there's all these different things that go behind it, but please do still invite your friends. If you say no, it's absolutely okay. If you say yes, like I said, it's okay to arrive late and to leave early. You do what is best for you ultimately. And in terms of Christmas Day itself or any of the big days throughout the holidays, it's okay to spend time with yourself or with certain people. Like if going to a family event where there's going to be nieces and nephews and babies and pregnant people, if that feels like too much, you can say, actually, I'm not going to do that. And instead, I'm going to stay at home and watch The Holiday, or I'm going to watch Home Alone for the 100th time, or whatever it is. You can set your own traditions, you can do your own thing, and spend time with people that you want to. You might have a friend who wants to come and spend the day with you, or a partner, or keep things just you and your very, very close circle of friends or family members without it being a huge, big event. So make sure that you're very clear with your friends and family about what you want to do and stick with it. So number 7 is self-compassion. Grief does not notice the holidays. Grief is probably going to show up here, there and everywhere as and when it chooses to, and it's okay to honour that grief and to have that time for yourself. It's okay if some moments you are on a real high, you're super excited, you're so happy about the holidays, and then the next moment you're really down and sad and upset. It's okay. Grief does allow you to go up and down, and I think you just need to be patient with yourself and be compassionate with yourself and just understand that you're going through something that is heartbreaking and you're bound to feel certain emotions that might feel uncomfortable and you might have ups and downs. It's okay to feel joy, it's okay to be happy and to have really joyful, gorgeous moments with family and friends, but it's equally okay to be sad and to cry and to have those emotions and to have the ups and downs that life, ultimately is all about. So just be gentle with yourself, be patient with yourself, and be compassionate with yourself. I also want to remind you here to let go of expectations, either expectations that you've put upon yourself or expectations that other people have of you. So maybe people expect you to be happy, maybe people expect you to give lots of gifts. Maybe people expect you to go to that Christmas party and stay till the end and drink and socialise and do this whole thing. You can break those expectations. You don't have to keep it together all the time. It's okay if you cry. It's okay if you're angry or upset. I remember maybe it was the second Christmas after the abortion that we had. I was just so sad on Christmas Day and I was trying to keep it in, trying to stay positive, trying to stay happy for my family's sake so that I was okay, so therefore everybody else should be okay. But it actually just built up and it got to the point where I ended up snapping at people and arguing with people because I hadn't given myself that space and that time to grieve in the morning, to maybe do some breathing exercises or yoga or something to ground me back down again and connect to myself again. I didn't allow myself to cry, I didn't allow myself to tell people I was sad. I was putting on a brave face. And then it came out in the end anyway, where I was, jumping down people's throats and just not being fun to be around. And it kind of I don't want to say it spoiled Christmas, but it definitely put a dampener on it. Whereas had I given myself that space and time and said to people, hey, I'm really struggling today, so I'm sorry if I'm not going to be my, usual happy self, I think that would have been way more beneficial than trying to be okay and then ultimately it not being okay in the end anyway, because grief is going to come out, and it's going to come out when you least expect it, and it can be scary. But I think also if you're people who love you and understand, it is okay to be sad, it's okay to cry, and it's okay to be your true authentic self. And the last thing in terms of self-compassion is to maybe have a couple of mantras or sayings that you can say to yourself throughout the day. So, I am okay. I am doing my best, I think is a really good one. I am allowed to feel how I feel is also a good one. It's okay if I am happy, it's okay if I'm having the best time ever, but it is also okay if I'm sad or if I'm struggling. All of the emotions are okay, and however you're feeling is okay, and you just kind of need to give yourself that grace. So maybe have a couple of mantras that you can say to yourself throughout the holiday season. The main thing I want you to take away from this video is to be kind to yourself and to take the holiday season one step at a time. Try to find things that you enjoy doing, such as yoga, sound baths, maybe making artwork, whatever it is, walks in nature. Say no to events and to people and traditions and things that you don't want to do. Make sure you're nourishing your body, make sure you are sleeping well. Try to do things that look after yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Try and do your very, very best, but I know this might feel overwhelming. So if you just take little pieces here and there and do your best, that is all you can do. The affirmation for the week is I honor my grief and my healing journey, allowing myself to experience the holidays in a way that feels right for me. So again, it's not about doing what other people expect you to do or people want you to do. It's about honoring yourself and experiencing the holidays in a way that feels right for me. So I hope you enjoy that one. The book of the week is The Art of Comforting: What to Say and Do for People in Distress by Val Walker. This book provides practical guidance for those navigating grief and for their loved ones who want to offer support, making it an excellent resource during the holiday season. So I will leave that book linked down below, as well as all the other videos and things I've talked about. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, my email is down below. I also have Instagram, TikTok, so you can send me a message, reach out to me. I'm here for you. You are not alone, and I'm wishing you the very best holiday season. I hope you can get through it. I hope you can enjoy aspects of it as well. It's okay to be happy some days, and it's okay to be sad some days. Just do your best and try and find things that work best for you. I'm sending you so much love and happy holidays. Bye.